G'day, Michael here. This box just arrived in the mail and I'd almost forgotten that I ordered it. I had to think hard what it was. But it's actually a part that I intend to use either on my Prusa or on my Black Widow. And what the contents are, let's move along, is this tiny stepper motor which has obviously much lighter weight than the common stepper motors that are used for feeders. But to get the torque, they've made this reduction gearbox arrangement. So it mounts on the base of the motor, and the reduction gearbox feeder, as you can see in the top there, will provide a good torque. As you may be familiar anyway, the stepper motor certainly can travel fast enough, even with a 5:1 reduction, to feed filament through, because the filament actually doesn't travel that fast through the printer. So a reduction gearbox doesn't hurt the performance at all. Now you've got the typical sort of hot end. I mean, it is made for a Tarantula, but I'm going to misuse this thing probably for the Black Widow, but I may end up putting it on my Prusa. Now I'm just working my way through various printhead designs to try and get something optimized for my needs. And I find that the Black Widow's retarded with the acceleration. I could probably bump up the acceleration if I can get rid of some inertia, and I can do that with either making a Bowden setup or misusing this and assembling it as a direct drive. I'll be bumping this up to a Volcano and a 40-watt element, that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. I won't get through to that today, but I just thought I'd show these parts, which is kind of a follow-on from my previous videos where I'm modifying the hot ends, because I think that's really the big weak point of these printers, is the hot ends aren't optimized to your particular task. This would do a great job of like finer work. Yeah, but I am shooting more for volume and output speed. So I'm going to be optimizing everything around a 0.6 or a 0.8 millimeter tip. My favorite at the moment is 0.6. I'm thinking 0.7 might be my special spot, but I can't buy any tips of that size. Yeah, so everyone's got a different purpose for their printer, and you've really got to optimize these printers to suit yourself. It's not a matter of you turn the key and it goes. It's a matter of your purpose, and make your machine fit for purpose. Where you buy a machine that is not a kit, you're basically kind of a closed system. They're restricted by how they've set up the hardware. Whereas the typical like Prusa and like the Black Widow, that kind of architecture, you can change, well, pretty much all of it. You've got control over the firmware and the bulk of the hardware. And this little guy comes with a reasonably good instruction manual, so you can find your way through how to assemble it. And yeah, in typical TiVo fashion, I'll show you the packaging. This box without shaking me around too much. Yeah, you're right. Okay, it was nicely packaged with this kind of foam. That's one thing I've noticed is very consistent with the TiVo gear. It's always nicely packaged. Now all that was in this box was this print head. The instructions were sitting on top, and it's always quite a beautiful thing to open up a TiVo box. I must say that about TiVo. They do a nice job of that. Alright, well I guess that's it from me. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Bye for now.